Last season on Dirt Trax, we built the Mud Racer, and it's been our most watched and anticipated build in Dirt Trax history. However, at the end of the season, we had a few issues. Today, I'm going to tell you exactly what went wrong and precisely how we're going to fix it. At the Smoke and Spurs Mud Race last September, we took the Mud Racer to prove we could build a very competitive race quad on a budget and still compete. We proved that with some seriously impressive times and very little, wait, scratch that, zero testing prior to the race. We had literally just finished the build, and when we showed up at the race, we found a few drops of oil leaking from the front diff. Some folks asked why we raced it if it was leaking. And the simple answer is, after months of building this thing, we weren't going home, hairline crack in the diff or not. So Graham and I agreed, and we did get through most of the event until, well, you know what happened to Graham.
Did you get my flip?
Oh, you know I did.
Oh.
The end result was a front diff that sounded like a half-baked salmon flopping around in a bucket of bolts. And today I'm going to pull the front diff out and see exactly what's wrong, then replace and rebuild a stronger, completely overhauled front diff from Can-Am Parts Guy, who specialize in premium, new and used Can-Am parts. After a hose down, I want to split the front differential cases and see what went wrong. We're not going to be using this diff anymore because it's busted, so we might as well break the thing open and see what's happening. It had seemed that the excess stress of nearly twice the horsepower on a 10-year-old front diff, pushing significantly larger and more aggressive tires, exaggerated either a manufacturing flaw or a crack that otherwise hadn't made itself obvious. Under heavy load and with the visco-lock engaged, I'm guessing the fracture allowed internals to deviate and therefore caused a catastrophic failure and lockup of the front right wheel. Before we install the torque locker, we got to go ahead and take out visco lock from this front diff. Now, keep in mind that if you have an early generation Outlander and it's the first gen front diff, you're not going to be able to take visco lock out because it's non-serviceable and it's all welded in. If you have a second gen diff like we got from Can-Am Parts Guy, then you're going to be able to remove visco lock and put that torque locker back in. You can do it with both generations of front diff. It just works a little bit better if you can get rid of visco lock entirely with the second gen. When you're pulling visco lock out, you need to pay some special attention, and by this I mean keeping alignment of the parts and going easy on a few of the fasteners as they're easy to strip. Because this is a freshly rebuilt front diff, we're essentially sacrificing a brand new visco lock, but Torque Locker does recommend to install with visco removed. The Torque Locker comes with complete directions, and their website even has full how-to videos that'll help you with the process. With visco lock removed, install of the torque locker only takes a couple of minutes, and you can do this to any Can-Am front diff. When you're done, you're going to have a fully locking front diff when you select four-wheel drive. With the torque locker gears separated on the table, we need to install the axle gears top and bottom. Following the axle gears, both cam gears go in, making sure we align the keyways for a proper fit. We then rotate the torque locker to expose the two recessed spring pockets and install the springs. When installed correctly, they'll pop into place. To finish up, the cross pin goes back in and the outer case is reinstalled. And with that, we're ready to put this diff back into the ATV with visco lock gone and a true locker installed. With just axles to be installed, I'll do those next week, followed by a full cost breakdown of every part that we've put into the entire mud racing build.
This segment is just the start for you. Click the subscribe button and become part of the Dirt Trax Nation, where you'll have access to tons of great content from all of the years past of our great stories, trail techs, and test rides.